What's up and welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. So it's Saturday morning. I'm up, ready to go about my day, and I did not get the best night's sleep last night, right? My brain has been trying to process what happened yesterday. Like, my brain has been trying to put the pieces together just to make a complete puzzle that, you know, was easy for me to digest. And I'm just at a loss. And I'm speaking in reference to the ruling from the Supreme Court yesterday that struck down Roe v. Wade. This is my first day in the world post Roe v. Wade, and so here we are. So I want to talk a little bit about this whole thing. Like, we knew that this was happening. We knew that this was happening about maybe a month and change ago. Sometime back in May, Alito's opinion was released, and so the writing was on the wall. We saw it coming. But even in spite of that, I'm not going to even hold you. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Even in spite of that, there was a part of me that was like, no, they won't do that. It ain't gonna happen, and they're not gonna do that. You know, just the optimist in me held on to the notion that they're gonna do the right thing, and they showed me, baby. They showed me and my optimist, honey. That, girl, we don't give a damn. You can hold on till you want to, but we guarantee this much, honey, you will let go. So here we are in a post Roe v. Wade world. And it's just crazy to me. It's unfathomable to me that this has happened. And while I'm definitely upset with the judges for what they did, and it was a 5-4 decision, 5 pro-lifers, if you will, versus 4 pro-choicers, so to speak. Here we are. And I'm upset with the judges, but I'm more upset at the voters, at us, right? Because I feel like we didn't do our jobs. We did not do our jobs, and we allowed this to happen. And when I say we, I'm talking about the people who didn't vote, and I'm talking about the people who voted for Donald Trump. I'm sorry. And, you know, a lot of the people who voted for Donald Trump, get mad if you want to, were these evangelical, middle of America, white women. And men, you know, I'm not just going to throw white women under the bus. And I'm not talking about all white women because, you know, clearly this isn't a monolith in terms of everyone agreeing with this recent ruling. But we did not do our jobs. Those of us who did not vote, those of us who feel like, you know, voting is a farce, you know, the vote doesn't really count. When they start taking away your rights, you begin to realize that, oh, baby, it does count. The president doesn't really matter. When you start seeing who the president is appointing to the Supreme Court, you realize that the president does matter. You know, we've gotten lulled into this belief that voting was sort of this arbitrary right that we've been given that doesn't really have an effect on our quality of life. And it does. It does, because here we are with women's reproductive rights being under attack. And as a trans woman, right, some people would say, well, why do you care? I care because it's women tomorrow and it's trans women. I mean, women today and it's trans women tomorrow. And that's the thing that I don't think a lot of people get. A lot of people are laser focused on that which directly affects them, right? Oh, I'm not gay, so gay rights don't matter to me. Oh, I'm not black, so minority rights don't matter to me. Oh, I'm not female, so women's rights don't matter to me. They do. They do, right? Because this ruling is just the tip of the iceberg, baby. Hell had no fury like a conservative scorned. Baby, when they get through throwing them biblical beliefs and laws in your direction, you know, criminalizing marijuana all over again, you know, all of these things, because a lot of these justices, Comey Barrett, Gorsuch, you know, during their confirmation hearings were asked specifically about Roe v. Wade and how they felt about it, and sat right there said right there during their confirmation hearings and said it's precedent. It doesn't matter to me. It's already been established. It's the rule of the land. We're beyond that. Now, if I can go to jail for perjury, why can't these justices be held accountable for sitting right there and lying? And how can we trust someone to apply the law without prejudice when they've gone on public record and lied to the public? Susan Collins is supposed to be upset about this. Girl, you knew. You knew when you let these folks up in there what they were going to do. But I really feel like these justices should have to step down. Should have to step down because you have stated on the record that you weren't going to try to go in and change or shift Roe v. Wade, and that is precisely what you did when the opportunity presented itself. And for that reason, I feel like, oh, you got to go, sis. You got to go. I don't know where you're going to go, but you can't be around here, honey, telling mistruths, lying and carrying on, and thinking that you get to do so without consequences. And then Clarence Thomas. See, Clarence Thomas is like the boogeyman on the Supreme Court. He is the Christian boogeyman, and this is the thing that I don't get about some of these conservatives, right? If you're old enough to remember his confirmation hearings with Anita Hill, then you know all of the salacious details of what she alleges, with pubic hairs and long donk silvers and all of this thing. And if you aren't old enough, go back and do your research. This man is disgusting, right? He is the epitome of pervert, right? But then in public and during his judgeship, if you will, he wants to be this ultimate conservative, and he's not. And he's not. He's talking about taking away contraception. Contraception? So you don't want birth control? You don't want Plan B? You don't want condoms? No, they probably won't touch condoms because condoms are for men, so they don't want to touch anything, that would affect the man because men's reproductive rights are never under attack. It's only women, right? So they want to, take away contraception. Now he's also talking about gay marriage. And it's crazy that this is where we are. Because we were asleep at the wheel and allowed this crazy man, Donald Trump, to get up in office and appoint 3 Supreme Court justices. 3 of them. That's damn near half. That's damn near half. And then we're always, as Democrats, trying to quote unquote play nice. I remember there was this huge thing when Biden was running for election that people knew that this was potentially going to happen. So the people on the right were very concerned about Biden packing the court. Are you going to pack the court? Are you going to pack the court? And he was sort of, I wouldn't say indifferent. He would sort of dance around the question. But right now, I'm telling you, pack that mofo. Pack that mofo court. I need the judges up in there like sardines, right? Listen, the Supreme Court should be a reflection of the U.S., right? We need to have more black justices. We need to have more Hispanic justices. We need to have Asian justices. We need to have Native American justices. We need to have Indian justices. We need to have LGBTQIA+ plus justices. We need it to be a microcosm of the society that we live in, and right now it is not. Right? It's not. And so how are people whose beliefs are incongruent with my own in charge of creating legislation for me when we don't believe the same. We don't see the world the same. And then 90% of these justices are like 100 years old, so disconnected from the world that we live in today. It's a different world than where you came from. You're not connected. And the thing about the A word, right? I'm going to say the A word because YouTube don't play. They are very hypersensitive about the verbiage that you use. The thing about the A word for me is this. I'm not pro-choice. I'm not pro-life. I'm pro, it ain't my business. It is not my business. I'm not here to advocate on behalf of the loss of any life, right? Unborn, born, what have you. But the one thing that I do hold true to is that My job is to be the best me that I can possibly be, right? To put the best energy into the universe, to be be as kind as I can possibly be, to be as thoughtful as I can possibly be, and to also keep my hands off of other people's bodies, i.e. women. It's not my job to tell another woman what she has the right to do with her body, and it certainly isn't the right of men who've never had the experience of carrying a child, or who will never have the experience of carrying a child, or men who have never been violated physically or sexually, or men who have, whose lives have not been threatened by the possibility or potential of giving birth, to sit here and legislate what a woman has a right to do. Listen, we all have karma accounts, right? All of us have karma accounts. What you do, how you live, how you treat people, how you move about this world, all of that is tallied up in your karma account, and karma will come back to you, right? And if abortion is this wrong thing that is sinful, then let karma address that. Let whatever religious deity you believe in, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whomever you believe in, let them address the abortion. It's not your job. It's not your job. I don't think any woman who's ever contemplated the A word, or any woman who's actually gone through with the A word, has found herself with her legs sitting up in these cold stirrups, forceps invading her, thinking to herself, wow, what a great day this is. What a party this is. Boy, oh boy, am I having fun. Isn't this, casual thing that women see as just, sort of something to do on a Saturday? Girl, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going shopping. Oh, girl, what are you doing? Girl, I'm going to Planned Parenthood. Oh, I was going to go to Planned Parenthood. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. This is a deep and abiding decision that weighs heavily on women to make, and women need to be their own Supreme Court. Their conscience is their Supreme Court. It is not our jobs as a society to mandate what women choose to do with their bodies. Allow women the right and the luxury and the privilege to be in control of themselves. All of this talk about, life. We care so much about life, but yet and still we refuse to do anything about the lives that are here in terms of legislating these high-powered weapons that are mowing children down by the dozens. You care so much about life, but we let stuff like Uvalde happen here in America. Right now someone is probably, looking down the barrel of a gun, taking their, taking their last breath. Right now, as I'm recording this video, because America is out of control. And the same people who are quote-unquote pro-life do nothing about legislating guns. At the very least, for me, be congruent in your actions and your beliefs, right? Because if it's all about the preserving of life, then you should have more of a stake in trying to shift the culture as it relates to these violent shootings that we experience on a daily, weekly, monthly, hour, minute by minute, second by second basis here in America. Wake up, people. Wake up. I know people out there are upset about the price of gas. I know people are upset about inflation. I know people are upset about the stock market. And people on the right want this to happen. They want this to be a referendum on the left and Joe Biden, and for you guys to think, okay, I'm going to vote Republican because I agree with them fiscally. I want less government in my business. You'll get less government in your business financially, but you're going to get more government in your business personally. They're all up in your business, all up in your your nether regions, excuse me. They're all up in your business, and don't be fooled. Do not be lulled into thinking that because gas is high right now, what goes up must come down, okay? What goes up must come down. Ride this wave. Ride this wave. Don't be fooled into believing once again that because the price of gas is high, or that the feds are raising interest rates, that it's the end of the world, and that you need to vote differently if you've been voting Democrat or even independent. Don't be fooled into believing that you need to do something different just because you got to pay a little bit more for gas. Drive less, buy less, save more. I mean, do things that can help you to get through this time, because you will come out on the other end. I know for me personally, my portfolio has definitely been affected by what's been happening in the markets. But what I've done is to take money that I have, and I do realize that I'm in a position, a fortunate position to have the luxury to have additional monies to invest. What I've done was to take more money and put it into the stock market to offset some of the losses that I've seen in the last year or so. Because I know better than to allow short-term feelings to affect my long-term outcome or my long-term existence. And that is the point that I'm trying to make, is that, don't let them use these things, because we on the left, for whatever reason, have these short-term memory. The right people on the right, listen, they are steadfast in their beliefs. They are rock steady, okay, in their beliefs. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. We're voting for Donald Trump. We don't agree with him. We know that he likes to grab women by the... I'll say it again. We know that he likes to grab women by the... But in spite of him liking to grab women by the... We're still going to vote, because we know that he is going to forward our agenda. So what? He grabbed women by the... So what? I don't care. Is he appointing the right justices? Because what I care about is making sure that my ideologies, my beliefs, my values, my principles are reflected in the laws. And we don't do that. And we need to get on board. So I'm telling you guys, ride this wave. And when midterms come, when, the next presidential election comes, we need to be ready to galvanize, right? To coalesce, to come together, to get out here and vote like we have never voted before. And not only do we need to vote like we never voted before, we need to start being radical in terms of what we're willing to do politically. Yes, pack the court. Pack it. It's enough already. It's enough with this whole electoral college thing already. I'm sick of this electoral college bullshit. I'm sick of that. It doesn't make sense that if someone wins the popular vote, that because of the electoral college, and this is what dissuades people from voting. And I get that part of it, because the electoral college is in control of what the people want. No, it's time for us to do away with that. And we can't keep holding fast to our forefathers, blah, blah, blah. No, the forefathers didn't see the bullshit that was happening in this world. They couldn't predict what was happening in this world. The electoral college is outdated. The Supreme Court is outdated. We need to do whatever we need to do to regain control and to make sure that the voice of the people is being reflected in the decisions and the laws that are being written, because right now they are not. And the only way that we get to do that is if we vote. Man, it's just such a sad day. It really is. It's a really sad day. So clearly you see what my position is on this. And again, this isn't me coming here and advocating for the loss of innocent lives, because, people have a tendency to hear what they want to hear and cherry pick what they want to hear, as if, someone is, just celebrating or relishing in the lives of, unborn children being extinguished, for lack of better phrasing. And that's not the case. I think most people are simply saying, it ain't my business, bruh. It ain't my business. And that's the problem with a lot of these evangelicals. This is why you have a problem with the LGBTQIAP plus community. This is why you have a problem with black people. This is why you have a problem with women's reproductive rights, because you are so busy minding everybody else's goddamn business. Mind your own. Mind your own. All of these kids that you are so concerned about, when these mothers who have been forced to give birth to them aren't in positions to take care of them financially, I need you to be writing legislation to make sure that these kids are provided for. Right? I need you to be writing laws in terms of these adoption agencies to make sure that these kids aren't in there being abused, as they are in many instances, because the kids have been born into a world where they are unwanted. So don't just care about them being born, care about their existence, because it's so crazy to me that, it's like we care about the life of the child up until the point that it's born. Once it's born, boo, you on your own. You figure this out. You figure it out. You figure out how you're going to get to college. You figure out where you're going to live. You figure out how you're going to eat. You figure out how you're going to survive. You figure that out. We got you here. The rest is up to you. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. All right. So anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out. If you made it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you for hanging out with me for the entirety. Please do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And listen, I really want to hear your opinions, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Here's my only caveat. You know, keep it respectful. You know, I'm not looking for a bunch of minions in my comments saying, "Ooh, girl, yeah, that's right. You tell them, sis." I mean, I appreciate that. But that's really not my goal. My goal is to have intelligent conversations. So if you have something to contribute to the conversation that's not mean, malignant, or hateful, then I definitely welcome that commentary. But if it's stupid, I'm just going to press delete and block you. So you can take the time to write it if you want to, but just know that that would be the outcome, because I'm in control around here. I am the Supreme Court around these parts, okay? So like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when we can be better? So let's be better together. I am the Mass Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Bye-bye.